Before you scroll away, listen to this for just 10 seconds. Somewhere in a quiet village, a man with nothing left but regret, debt, and self-doubt followed a simple rule every day. It didn't make him successful overnight. It didn't magically erase his pain. But that 10-minute rule saved a broken life. And if you stay with this story, it might change yours too. His name was Daniel Harper. Daniel lived in a small rural village where life moved slowly and opportunities were scarce. Narrow roads, old houses, and endless fields surrounded the place. From the outside, it looked peaceful. But peace is not always found where silence lives. At 36 years old, Daniel felt trapped in a life that never moved forward. Every morning he woke up with the same thought echoing in his mind. I failed. Daniel was not always this way. As a child, he was full of curiosity. He would sit on the steps outside his home, watching trucks pass through the village, imagining a future beyond those fields. His mother, Margaret, believed deeply in him. She used to tell neighbors that her son would do something meaningful one day. His father, Thomas Harper, was a hardworking man who believed that dignity came from effort. Thomas didn't speak much, but when he did, his words stayed whole. He often reminded Daniel that giving up was the only real failure. School was challenging, but Daniel tried. He dreamed of building a better life for his family. Then life interrupted his plans. When Daniel was 20, his father became seriously ill. Medical bills piled up, and the family struggled to survive. Daniel left school to work, promising himself he would return one day. That day never came. Daniel worked wherever he could: farms, warehouses, small local jobs. He worked hard, but nothing seemed to last. When he married Emily, a supportive and patient woman, he promised her stability. But promises became heavier as failures continued to follow him. People in the village began to talk. Some showed sympathy. Others judged quietly. He's a good man, just unlucky, they said. Over time, those words began to shape how Daniel saw himself. Failure slowly poisoned his confidence. A small repair stall he opened using borrowed money shut down within months. Debt followed him everywhere. One evening, after another disappointing day, Daniel sat alone outside his house, staring into the dark sky. He felt empty, exhausted, and defeated. Emily came and sat beside him. "What's wrong?" she asked softly. "Everything," Daniel replied. That night, Daniel finally spoke the truth. He had been hiding, he admitted. He felt useless, ashamed, like a burden. He avoided his young son Oliver's eyes because he feared disappointing him one day. Emily listened without interrupting. When he finished, she held his hand and said something that stayed with him forever. "You haven't lost because you failed. You'll only lose if you stop believing change is possible." Daniel wanted to believe her, but belief felt harder than work. The turning point came unexpectedly. One afternoon, Daniel met an elderly man sitting on a bench near the village store. His name was Arthur Collins, a retired schoolteacher who had moved to the village for a quieter life. Arthur had kind eyes and a calm presence. He noticed Daniel's tired expression. "You look like a man fighting a battle inside his own head," Arthur said. Daniel smiled weakly. "That's exactly what it feels like." They talked for a long time. Daniel shared his failures, regrets, and fear of the future. Arthur listened patiently. Then he said something simple that sounded almost foolish. "What if I told you that you don't need motivation, luck, or a perfect plan? What if all you need is 10 minutes a day?" Daniel almost laughed. 10 minutes can't fix a broken life. Arthur smiled calmly. But 10 minutes can fix a broken mindset. And once your mindset changes, your life starts to follow. Arthur explained what he called the 10-minute rule. Every single day, no matter how bad life felt, Daniel had to spend 10 minutes doing something meaningful for his future. Just 10 focused minutes, or simply sitting quietly, training his thoughts. 10 minutes is small enough that your mind won't fight it, Arthur said, but consistency is powerful. Stay with it, and you'll change. He had failed many times before. But something about Arthur's certainty felt different. He agreed to try it for 30 days. The first day felt uncomfortable. Daniel sat alone with an old notebook. He tried to write what he wanted from life. His mind fought back. "What's the point? You'll fail again. When the 10 minutes ended, nothing changed. His problems were still there. But the next day, he did it again. Other days he simply sat quietly, learning to control his thoughts instead of letting them control him. Slowly, something shifted not outside, but inside. Daniel complained less. He stopped waiting to feel motivated. He showed up for his 10 minutes even when he felt tired, discouraged, or hopeless. Discipline entered his life quietly. After a few months, Emily noticed the change. He spoke with more calm. He reacted less emotionally to failure. He carried himself differently. Daniel realized that his biggest enemy had never been lack of money, it had been lack of belief. He began helping a local mechanic, learning repair skills during spare hours. It wasn't glamorous, but it was progress. The village still doubted him. Some people laughed, saying it wouldn't last. But Daniel no longer needed approval. His confidence came from daily action. 1 year later, Daniel opened a small repair workshop. It was simple. Some days no customers came, but he didn't quit. The 10-minute rule had grown into a mindset guiding his entire life. Slowly, the business supported his family. Daniel didn't feel loud pride. He felt steady strength. The man who once felt broken now felt grounded. One evening, Oliver asked his father why he worked so hard. Daniel smiled and said, "Because I want you to grow up believing in yourself, even when life is hard." Daniel never became famous. He never became rich, but he became mentally strong. He learned that success is not one big moment, but small decisions repeated daily. That is why stories like his are shared on platforms like MindShift Tales, not because they are perfect, but because they are real. They remind us that motivation fades, discipline lasts, and mindset shapes destiny. If you are listening right now and feel lost, remember this. You don't need to fix your entire life today. You only need 10 honest minutes. 10 minutes of focus. 10 minutes of effort. 10 minutes of belief. Because broken lives are not saved by miracles. They are saved by small actions done consistently. And maybe, just maybe, the next 10 minutes will change everything.